Welcome back to the KiVi Podcast.
Today we're going to discuss how much does money really matter?
Is it important in a relationship?
How important is it to secure your future?
And is it a trap? Let's find out. So when it comes to money, is there a golden number that you have in your mind that we need to get this much money and then we're secured for life?
I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't think there's a golden number though. I want a lot of crores. But there isn't like a specific number. It could be in 3 digits. You could help.
It could be in 3 digits, matlab 100 rupees.
No, like add crore to it. No? We're talking about crores. Yes, 100 rupees is the ideal number. But no, there is no like number as such. Is there one for you?
I've actually thought about it and I just randomly spat out the number 50 crores.
So it's not in 3 digits.
Like 50 I think is enough. And I'll explain why. So if you've got 50 and let's say you're earning about 10% return on it, right?
Yeah.
Taking an average of you've invested into, let's say something a little more stable like an FD plus in the equity market.
Yeah.
Average out at 10%. 10% of 50 CR is 5 crores.
No. Yes. Yes.
So 10% of 50 CR is 5 crores, right? So with 5 crores a year, there's nothing you can't do. So let's say even out of that 5 crores, you're reinvesting 2.5 and you've kept, let's say 2.4 crores for yourself.
20 lakh per month.
You're telling me 20 lakh a month is not enough? Let's say even if you account for inflation, right? You are reinvesting 5% of your portfolio to stay steady with inflation.
Yeah.
And then 5%. Like any finance person watching this, by the way, is just shitting on us right now. Because they're like, these idiots don't know anything.
I don't even know if the maths we've done is correct because my brain is not working at all right now. But whatever. I think 100 is better than 50, but sure, we'll settle at 50.
Yeah, but then you need to have a believable number also. Now, let's say if you reach the age of 50, you've been investing since you're 25. Right? Most people start working when they're 25 and actually start
When
earning.
did you start investing?
I started investing when I was, I think, 24, 25.
Yeah.
I started way sooner, but I didn't actually...
Sooner. Late.
No,
I had to beg you. Viren, here is the number of the financial advisor. Please call her and please start investing your money.
No, I did not start investing late. I started investing in the stock market late. I was investing into FDs. I had an LIC, which, by the way, is
I mean,
a different
FDs
story.
again, they're crying, the
Yeah.
financial experts.
No, I think it's a stable investment considering I had zero financial education at the time.
Yeah.
I just started to learn about finance maybe after graduating because college I learned nothing, if I'm being honest. 22, 23 is when I started making money and started thinking about, okay, where do I park this money? Because you can't keep it in cash.
Yeah.
I understood inflation,
Yeah.
thankfully. So instead of just parking the money into cash, I thought, okay, let's put it into an FD. So even if you're getting at the time, I think 6% return.
Yeah, 6 to 7% Abhi also.
Yeah, that's still higher than inflation. So at least you're not losing money. You're still continuing to make money.
Yes. Debatable.
Debatable.
But anyway, that's not the point. The point is the golden number. So fine, there isn't one. 50 CR for you is the calculated golden number.
Yeah.
Question still is, why does it matter so much? Like, is it that we want to secure our future and we actually want to set our children up or whatever, right? That's our parents' thought. I want to set my children up. I want to give them property, whatever, yada. For at least Indian parents. Is that why we're doing all of this? Or is there like a social circles where you're representing yourself, you have that ego, you want to carry a certain brand, you want to wear a nice belt, a nice bag, and we sort of mask it in that, and that's our real reason for also like trying to show off. Because I feel like a lot of the people have a lot of show off things, but andar se khali. So they don't actually have money, but they have spent on these nice bags and nice cars. And again, maybe not so much in India, but definitely outside.
Enough in India.
Yeah, but definitely outside. I know there is this culture.
Flexing, as
Yeah.
it's called in today's generation.
Yeah, and under pockets are empty.
So there are lots of people who are basically living off of loans because they've loaned money to do this, to do that. And India, maybe I know personally a few, and we know influencers who've become influencers as people who are just showing off their wealth as opposed to creating content, which is a type of content. But it shouldn't be your only type of content. Look at how much money I have. Look at what sort of car I'm with or driving, sorry. Look at what sort of brands I wear, right? So if you're into that lifestyle, then unless you're born into wealth, I don't think that's a very smart thing to do, because then you're not investing your money, you're just spending your money on things to make other people have a certain impression about you.
Yeah. I do feel like if you're born into wealth though, and this is the path you've chosen where you're doing content creation and just flexing your money and like getting nice things or whatever, I still think it's okay. Like it's why do people watch content? There are different reasons. Content could be funny, content could be educational, but content could be aspirational. So as someone who might not be able to afford nice things, if I'm seeing someone who has those nice things, that's very aspirational for me. And that is why people who post about nice cars, they get a lot of followers. They have like 1 million followers, right? But if you really look at that content, is nothing. Is them posing with cars, just standing, taking a picture. Is them just cruising. There are so many people, if there's like a nice car in a mall, for example, there are so many people who are going to stand and get a picture next to that car, right? Why? Because it's aspirational. You live through the eyes of that influencer and you want to be in their position to be able to afford that. So I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. You're milking it and that's fine. But like you said, that like it does become hard for someone who doesn't have that money, and then they're getting into this line, because then it's very hard to maintain it.
So I think I'd like to offer you my perspective and why I said that. Maybe it'll make sense. So everyone probably knows about Dan Bilzerian, right? So that guy became famous off of just showing that he's always surrounded by women. He's on fancy vacations, yachts, expensive cars, etc. So that is his claim to fame.
Yeah.
But it was later on that people found out that his lifestyle was all fake. He was renting all of this just to showcase online, and actually he didn't have that sort of money. So at the time he was flexing and showing all of his things, that would have been aspirational for people in the way that they want to achieve that. But he's also not talking about how he got there, and I think that should be aspirational content. Aspirational content should be inspiring people to figure out ways to get to that lifestyle instead of just showing this is the lifestyle that you should get.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, if I also create aspirational content, which is about fitness. So if somebody wants to be fit, they're following me for that. They're seeing that, okay, this guy does train every day. Every day he's doing both cardio and strength training.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of yoga, maybe looking at my nutrition as well. So I'm showing you how to get there, as opposed to just saying, okay, look, I have a six-pack and posting a picture of myself every day. So I think that's the difference. Right?
Fair. But I mean that is for a certain segment of the audience who actually cares about that and who can introspect enough to be able to see that side of things and want to achieve that. But a lot of people are also just on Instagram because they don't want to use their brain. They just want to turn it off. So I remember I had a phase when I would scroll through, like if it's something about fitness, for example, I just immediately switch out of that because I'm like, nahi, I'm here for a break. This is like my way to detach from reality. I've got enough things to think about. I don't want to come here and then feel like shit about myself, right? So, I mean, it's great. I think that like both kind of content works, and there are both kinds of people who adapt to it.
Agreed. But again, coming back to why we started discussing this was the reason a lot of people are chasing wealth is to show others what sort of money they have. So to create value in front of other people, in other people's eyes, basically, you're trying to create your own value. So that is how a lot of people also spend their wealth. So is it smart to spend your wealth on expensive bags, cars, etc., when you don't actually have those investments, when you don't actually have a secured future? I don't think it's smart. If you've come from money, if you have that wealth and you're just flexing that wealth, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But if you're doing that just to impress other people and you don't even have a secure future, then it becomes a problem.
I agree, and that's so true in real life as well, right? Because like, let's step out of the influencer circle for a bit, where you're showcasing to your audience. That's exactly what a lot of the times we do with friends as well, right? Because you feel like they're gonna judge you for not having what they have, and that's why you wanna upgrade and like get more things and just spiral down that circle. And a lot of the times people do judge as well, which is sad because like they're not seeing you for who you really are and what you have to offer. And everyone has become very materialistic to a certain extent, including us. I'm sure there are things that we might have judged people on without even realizing. Maybe that's just the first thought that comes to your mind and then you correct yourself, right? But I do feel like there's a lot of that, and it adds to a lot of that pressure to earn money or to spend what you don't even have.
Yeah, but I don't know where that comes from. So let me give you an example. When I meet a person, I'm
Yeah.
judging them by the content of their character as
100%.
opposed to what watch they're wearing, what belt, what kind of clothes they're wearing.
Yeah.
And the simple logic behind that is that's how I value a person, because that's how I value myself.
Yeah.
I don't value myself by buying expensive things. So, wow, look at me, I've reached a new milestone, let me buy a new watch. I don't actually do that,
Yeah.
right? It's the other way around. What have I achieved personally? And that's also not a money goal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. Like, okay, I made my first crore, for example. Now I can buy myself a nice watch. I've done that. But that's a one-time thing. On a day-to-day basis, I don't judge myself by how much money I have. I judge myself instead by whether or not I've accomplished the goals I've set out for myself. So even when I'm meeting a certain person, I won't judge them for what they're wearing, which car they're in. I'd rather judge them on the basis of, okay, when they start speaking to me, what is the content of the character? What are they talking about? If they just come to me and start talking to me about, oh bro, so what do you do? How much money do you make? I'm like, I don't want to waste my time with this person.
And people do that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? What's next? What
Yeah.
are you planning? Why aren't you
Yeah.
doing this? So nosy.
Yes.
But that actually brought out a beautiful point. And that, I think that's the core of the difference in people, like people who judge basis money. You said that it's because you don't value yourself basis how much money you have. But I think a lot of the times, because of I also feel like it's because of social media, because of peer pressure, because of so many things, sometimes subconsciously we do, or some people do, judge themselves basis what nice things they have. For example, and I speak from a girl's perspective, right? If I've got a Gucci on my hand and I'm wearing like a nice watch, I automatically feel better about myself. I'm not saying I do. Generally, as a girl, I might automatically feel better about myself.
Yeah.
I wear that a second time and a third time. And then when I'm going out and then people look at me, I am feeling way more confident than I was earlier. And maybe I wasn't feeling good about my skin or about my weight or about my hair. But now, because I have this expensive bag and people might be giving attention to that or calling me out on that, suddenly my confidence has gone from here to here. Now repeat that behavior twice, thrice, 10 times. By the 10th time, it is ingrained in your mind that, oh, your value is because of your bag, because your skin's not looking nice, your hair's not looking nice. But every time I've worn this bag, I've gotten a compliment. And this is something people can't buy that I have. This is an exclusive thing. That's why I bought this exclusive LV bag. And this is like a limited edition. So you're automatically training yourself into believing that, because you're valuing yourself by that, right?
Isn't that a little self-destructive?
It is, but you don't realize that. Like, you don't realize you're doing that to yourself. It's
But
conditioning.
what do you do
it's
when you
classical
do
conditioning.
realize that? Now, is this like a personal example?
No.
Okay. So why did you give that? How did you?
Because it's a real example. And I have seen that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Sorry, to be honest, if I'm thinking, and maybe it has actually happened to me, maybe I've not realized it as such, or maybe I have and I just don't remember it right now, but maybe makeup, maybe, right? So in the middle, I started putting makeup because we were going out for so many events and like the weddings and stuff. That I felt after a point of time that I was stepping out, even to go for like a lunch, I was putting makeup, and I'm not someone who wears a lot of makeup anyway. Because I felt like, oh, now I'm so used to seeing myself with makeup that when I don't wear it, I'm not looking as nice. So then when I'm stepping out without makeup, I almost feel naked. And I feel like, oh, people are going to judge me. I'm not looking nice. My skin's whatever. And that's a trap, right? That's the same concept.
Who cares about what other people think? Where does that come from? It comes from a simple fact. You don't want to be a social outcast. Because if you're alone,
Yeah.
100,000 years back, if you were alone, you would die.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not the case anymore. It's not important to have 1,000 friends. It's important to have 10 good, solid people that you can trust,
Yeah.
that are of good content in terms of character.
Yeah.
So if they're not judging you for your wealth, but instead for the content of your character, I think that's important. So even if, and this was a big changing point for me because I also used to be super self-conscious, but actually not even till quite late. I think within school, after school rather, if I'm being completely honest. After school is when I realized, why do I even care about what other people think about me? I don't.
Yeah.
And I stopped caring. Right now on Instagram, of course, sometimes people leave comments. Very few times it does get to me, but I immediately switch that off because I've reached a point in my life where I've stopped caring about what others say about me because I know they don't know anything about me. Who are they to even judge?
Yeah.
Right? It's like getting a scientist to talk about physics and then getting a layperson off of the street who's maybe not even gone to school and they have their own comments about physics. You're just like, bro, you don't know anything about science.
That's true.
How are you commenting on this?
Yeah.
So that's that sort of mindset that I ingrained in myself, which helped me get over this pressure to have to buy expensive things to show to other people what I am. So if anybody out there is struggling with a self-image issue, I think this would really help.
Yeah.
At least it helped me.
Yeah.
And then obviously family and friends do judge you, but then that's how you can figure out which friends are your true friends. Because there was a time in my life when I had nothing. And this is before I met you and around the time that I met you also. I hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And I still, till date, have those friends, those 3-4 friends who didn't care a beat about how much money I have, where I stand in terms of finance, whether or not I can go out with them and pay for dinner. Like we'd go to the cheapest places. I wouldn't even order things. Like I remember one of my friends, Harivansh, there was a time when I basically had no money in my wallet. I went out with this friend, Harivansh, and he's also seen really tough times. And he said, you know what? Don't worry. Like he sensed it.
Yeah.
I said, bro, nahi yaar, I'm good. I ate from home. Like I don't feel like drinking. I don't feel like eating. Tu khana, tu kha. It's okay. It's okay. Because I was trying to bring the bill down as much as possible.
Yeah.
He just said, listen, bro, it's fine. I know what you're trying to do. I've been there. I've got you. And we're still friends till date.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
And I think those are the people that matter.
Yeah.
And today, when I do have a lot, enough, I'm comfortable, I can celebrate with that same friend.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to eat on the same table with those people who haven't starved with me. So if you starved with me, then you can eat with me.
Yeah.
So those are the real quality friends. That's
Yeah.
how you identify.
And I think you're very lucky to have found those friends. Like, I think we generally are very lucky in the way that we're surrounded by nice people and people who actually care about us and people we know would be there for us, whether or not we have whatever. Unfortunately, not everyone has that.
That's true.
But also, you attract, like, you have a vibe, you have an energy, you have an aura, right? So sometimes you also attract what you're seeking. If you're not in the right headspace, you're going to attract the kind of people that might not be the best for you.
Can I just stop you there and make one small adjustment to that? I feel like it's not that you don't attract those people. I think that it's that you push them away.
Like the right people?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
Because if I, let's say, was to meet you when I didn't have money, right? But I would like to think I'm a nice guy. I've been a nice guy to all my friends always, right? I may have made mistakes. But at that time, if my friends acted in a way that, oh bro, stop hanging out with him, man. Like, why you hang out with him?
Yeah.
They didn't do that. But if they did, that's an automatic push away. Like they would push me away. And many people did, right? I don't have those friends, the people who did push me away. They're not my friends today.
Yeah.
And today, when I have become something, they're still not my friends.
Yeah.
They message me, they try to get in touch with me, but I'm like, listen, when I was in bad times, you pushed me away. So now you can't get me back. That's not going to happen. So instead of not attracting the right people, if you have bad intentions or if you have those,
Fair.
if you're judging people through that lens, you're naturally going to push them away.
Push them away, yeah.
So you won't end up getting good friends.
Yeah. And it's crazy how these people have the audacity to message someone, right? Like that is so transparent. Are you not realizing how you're coming across, and why are you doing that? Like, what is your intention was negative then, it's still negative now, and that's so sad because it's been so many years. Have you not grown?
I think time doesn't age. It ages people, but it doesn't mature people.
Yeah, you can still be a 50-year-old boy or a 50-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Not. Another point though is marriage, right? So throughout school, whatever, you got these friends, there's peer pressure that we discussed about. But then there's like the marriage stage of your life. And if, especially like an arranged marriage or something, you literally have these matrimonial profiles.
Yeah.
And you got like the income right at the bottom. You got mother, father, how many siblings you have, and then income, like a CV almost.
Yeah.
And have you seen one of these?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Have you guys seen? If not, check them out. It's literally like a one-pager resume that you create. So that's fun because you're literally calling out how much money you have, and then here, judge me on the basis of this. Paisa enough nahi hai, shadi mat karo, right? Like, Saif, have you seen the Coffee with Karan episode? Saif Ali Khan and Sara Ali Khan, and he's joking about it, right? Like he's got a great sense of humor, and he's like, "You got money? Take my daughter.
Yeah.
You don't have money? No, don't take my daughter."
Really, I have not seen that.
Oh, you have to see it. I'll make you see it. It's very cute. But people seriously do that, right? Like, this is a big criteria. It's not a wrong criteria. I mean, if I'm thinking about the fact that if I have children, if I have a daughter, I would want my daughter to grow up or be married into a family where she's getting what she needs and she's got enough backing, support system. If tomorrow she falls unwell or whatever, I'm obviously there, but then I don't want her to be living on the streets, right? That being said, I will also grow her in a way, or like whatever.
Bring her up.
Bring
Grow her. She's a plant. Plant-based daughters.
Vegan daughters. That's a separate podcast. But I will bring her up in a way that she's self-sufficient and she can earn her own money and she's not dependent on someone financially.
Yeah.
But it would not be bad to have a family that is also stable.
Yeah. No, for sure. And let's talk about our situation. We met when we were really young, right?
Yeah.
You were 18, I was 20, 21,
Just
turning
18.
21. Yeah.
Just turned 18.
Just turned 18. And we waited a really long time. We waited 9 years before we got married, right?
Yeah.
While I think 5 years into our relationship, we started talking about marriage.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, you were definitely ready mentally. I was also getting there mentally. But financially, I was not there. I knew that.
Yeah.
And that's why I kept delaying it. That's why I kept asking for extensions and let's wait a little longer. Thankfully, COVID also came in. That gave me a little bit of a buffer.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to settle into a marriage till the time I felt like I could have completely taken care of you. And I didn't want your parents to ever think that they've, married their daughter into a household where she might be financially insecure.
Yeah.
So I think for me, well, I can speak as a man because I'm a man. As a man, it was my responsibility to be financially secure and independent to the point where I can take care of you and my family. So till the time I didn't get to that point, I didn't want to marry.
Yeah.
And I think that's also where a lot of guys miss the woman that they want to marry just because they don't get to the point where they're financially stable when the woman is ready for marriage. And I know that because I know a couple of cases. Like I've had acquaintances, wouldn't say friends, who unfortunately their girlfriends got married to somebody else just because they weren't financially stable. And that really sucks. So I think as a guy, you should start working towards financial independence as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because if a parent wants to, like you mentioned, marry their daughter into a house where she is financially okay, It's also that the guy should feel like, I want my wife to come into a house where she's financially stable and okay,
Yeah.
right? So that's also a miss sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think usually guys realize that by the time it's too late. So what do you think is a good time to start investing?
So investing for me, just as a concept, it's been very strongly promoted in my house, right? Because I had, so my mom and dad, you know, was business family, mom's side service family. So business family was very like erratic. They didn't invest as such, because they would make like a buttload of money for a few months, but suddenly they'd see a downside, etc., right? So that keeps happening. And businesses generally, especially in that time, it was more unstable because we also didn't know what to do with so much money they would see coming. They didn't know how to handle it. Mom's side of the family, service family, so there was stability. Every month you have a fixed amount coming in. Nanu, Nani both were working. And they always believed in investing. So generally from mom and dad also, both of them, like dad saw the other side and learned and taught me, and then mom saw her own side and what her parents had done and taught me, right? So investing for me started like the day I was born. My nani made an FD for me. And then every birthday she would make an FD for me. Dad, it was just last week when we were at K-pop's house. And he said, oh, haan, teri FD yahan pe padi. And I was like, I didn't even know about this. When he's like, yeah, I made it, it's for me. Yes. So investing has been very huge for me, right? So the day, and I also took this one course. I remember college helped me. I took this investing course in college, and our professor made us do manually. He said, okay, if you start an SIP of 10,000 rupees, invested for 5 years at 5%, how much are you going to get in 10 years? So I knew compounding makes a huge difference, right? But I remember that day so vividly because I remember doing that calculation. It took me 30 minutes. The entire session was just that one sum. And he said, don't use your calculators. Basic theek hai, but don't use the direct formula. Do it yourself. And in that process, I would just be like, oh my God, like this quadrupled in so quickly. And that is really the power in investing when you manually see that happening. So I remember I joined work 2018. And before joining work, a month before that, I knew I was going to join next month. And before that, I found someone who could help me out with finances because I'm not super invested in like stocks and this and that. I wasn't interested and I didn't understand it. So I knew I needed support there. And I found like a financial advisor. I spoke to my dad, and 1 month before, whatever money I had, little bit, through Joby, like birthday collection, all of that, I put that and invested that in a mutual fund. And then I already told her I'm going to get money next month, my first salary, and I'm going to start investing from the get-go. So I invested like day one. I was already invested until now. But why did you ask how important?
Let's just start by saying we're not financial advisors.
Yes.
Please don't take this as financial advice.
This is not.
We're just discussing finance with respect to what we think about it.
It's our personal experience.
Yes.
It could be shit. You could be laughing at us right now.
Yeah.
But
why I was asking you is because you saw this reel, you were telling me about it, that there are 5 things that you can do with money, and investing was one of them.
yeah.
So what are those 5 things?
The first thing is you can buy experiences, you can buy time, you can save or invest money, you can give it away to someone, family, friends, whatever, and then you can buy things with it. And then the last one, which is buying things with it, that is really the only one that brings you down. Everything else that you spend money on is to enhance your personality, enhance who you are as a person, or build to your character. But buying things is the one that really takes you down because it's more liabilities on you. And most of us spend a majority amount on that thing. Is that true?
Yeah, I think that is true. I think people who don't have that sort of financial education, which is, I think, pretty much everyone, a lot of people, I wouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people, including myself, for the longest time, I didn't have that education. I ended up just holding cash. Like, I didn't understand the concept of inflation growing up, right, as a kid. And then later on, when I did understand, I would still put a little bit into investments, but mostly just spend it, right? Because naye paise aaye hain, okay. You just start making a little bit of money, let's spend it. Let's
Yeah.
get those things. Let's go eat at restaurants, Smokehouse Delhi. Let's order 10 different dishes.
Oh God.
Right?
Yeah.
We spent a lot of money back then. So at that point, because let's say I didn't grow up with that sort of control over money, that free access to money, now that I got access to money, I just started spending on things, which was a mistake in retrospect. Right? At that time, it felt great, but then I was like, okay, 2 years in, 3 years in, where the hell are my investments? It's just not enough. Like I lost everything.
Yeah.
And I have to work so much harder. Today, if I fall sick, then I'm not making money. Then what do I do? So that was something that life taught me.
It's a learning experience. It's fine.
So that's when I started investing as well. And initially, when you start investing, especially if you're doing an SIP, etc., your money barely grows. Like it's really sad. It feels like nothing's
3,000
happening,
rupees.
man.
You put in 20 or
Yeah.
like 40 and 3,000 rupees is what you get.
Yeah, you're just like, why am I wasting my time putting money into investments? There's nothing coming out of this.
Yeah.
Right? But then you reach a point where something just clicks and suddenly your money starts to grow at such an exponential rate that's when you realize. And that's a good, I think, 5 years into it, right?
3 years, yeah.
3 to 5 years is when you start to see that growth, right? So number one thing to do with your money, as soon as you get it, think of it as a tax that you're paying yourself, right? Which is something I learned from Robert Kiyosaki as well as Tony Robbins. Number one, you have to pay your taxes. There is no way around it, right? Hopefully you all pay your taxes. But pay that tax, investment tax to yourself as well. So as soon as you get your money, put as much, like dedicated amount, maybe it's 20%, maybe it's 80%, put that into your investments.
Yeah.
Then with the money left over is when you handle your expenses.
And
right?
people do the ulta. People first spend and then they're like, jo bachega, investment mein dal denge. But no, you're supposed to invest first because you can spend as much as you want to.
Yeah.
Like, you're never coming back from that. So
Yeah.
if you save that for the last, it's not going to happen.
100%. And guys, you know, we read all of this in books and we think that, ye to kehne ki baatein hoti hain, it doesn't work. Trust me, you're seeing us learn from our experience. This works. 100% it works. The sooner you start, the better it is. Even if you start today, it's not too late. Just start. All right?
Yeah.
Start investing.
Start with 5,000 rupees.
Anything. But start by investing a major chunk of whatever you're earning into investments, as much as you can, and then use the rest of the money to spend on other things.
This coming right after Viren has said, but we are not financial experts. Please don't quote us on this to being like, you have to do this.
No, this though I can tell you. I don't have to be a financial expert
That's
to tell you
true.
this. 100%, this is my top tip for finance.
Also, we're not saying invest in mutual funds, just correcting.
Somewhere, anywhere.
Gold, house, whatever. Like, just invest somewhere. Don't
Yeah.
keep it lying in the bank
Yes.
or in cash. Jal jayega. Deemak. Have you heard the recent episode? There's money, someone kept money in their locker and Deemak aa gayi and the money's gone because it was just cash.
Great. All my hard earning, literally eaten away.
Eaten away. Yeah. Do you have any money in the locker?
No.
Do you have an
I
extra
don't
locker
have
that I don't
cash.
know of?
I don't keep cash. Where will I get cash from?
True. But yeah, coming
Okay.
back, huh?
Next thing that you can spend your money on is time. What does that mean?
If you're working a job, for example, they are buying your time in exchange for money. So 1 hour, you get 2,000 rupees, 1 additional hour. So that's buying time. And then there are multiple examples of that, right? I'm booking a consultation with you. I pay you. I buy your time, but I also buy your knowledge. I buy your experience.
What I understand from that is that, let me give you an example. If I'm going to Delhi every single day, driving 1 hour there, 1 hour back, I'm just on the road,
Yeah.
right? That's commute time. Now, I can buy myself time by hiring a driver. And whatever calls, etc., that I could have taken, right, to make money, I now have access to that time. Similarly, if you can hire somebody to make your food, or if you can't cook and you order in, you're basically buying yourself time.
Yeah.
What you do with that time is up to you. Of course, you can, make more money. You
Netflix and chill.
can Netflix and chill, whatever you want to do. But that's what they essentially mean by buying
Time, yeah.
right? And then you can obviously buy experiences, which I think is what life is really about.
Yeah.
Nobody's taking any of the money that they've earned beyond this life.
Yeah.
They're going to the grave without the money, right? Even if the money is lying next to you, like in Pharaoh's cases, you're not taking the money. But what you are taking with you to the grave is basically your experiences, right?
Agreed.
You're not going to be sitting on your deathbed at hopefully 100 years old, fingers crossed, and thinking about how much money I have in the bank.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You'll be thinking about what experiences I've had, right? So if we can't afford to go to Switzerland, can we at least afford to go to Agra? Yes, I'll take that,
Yeah.
right? Maybe I don't have to wait all my life to earn all of that money to then go to Switzerland and get that experience.
Agreed.
Those smaller experiences are also important because there's only so much time you have.
Yeah. And it doesn't always have to be travel experiences, right? It's food experiences. It's going for a comedy night. That's an experience. Going out with your family. Any of that, right? Because that's what you really remember, like you said, at the deathbed. What was the other one?
What?
Giving it away.
Giving it away, maybe to family, charity, right?
Yeah.
Now, one more thing. Now, if I'm at 100 and I've lived all of this amazing life, right? I have all of this money in the bank, but I don't have my family around me. I'm not surrounded with my family because I was Uncle Scrooge. I didn't give anyone any money throughout my life when they needed it, for example. Then that's also not good.
Yeah.
So if and when you can help others, you should.
Yeah.
Like even right now, I'm not going to say the amount, but we do our charity, right? Don't have to mention where, don't have to do it either, but do a little bit of charity. Even if it's at home, it's fine.
Yeah.
If it's helping out a friend, it's okay. If it's helping out your family, great. If you're giving it to somebody on the street, if you can give money, great. Otherwise, at least give them food, give them, a blanket.
Yeah.
So that is also important because that feeds the soul. And I think for me, there was a time in my life where I just started spending money instead of doing anything for others. And at that point, I started noticing myself feeling more self-important than I used to. Like I was like, I'm this big shot guy. I have money now, this and that, even though I wasn't making a lot of money. But now I'm something. And I lost that humility.
Yeah, that happens.
But it's only when you start using your money for good, for others, that you can actually feel happy. Pleasure is eating a pizza. Happiness is feeding someone a pizza.
Wow, kya line hai. But it's true.
It is true.
And then the final one is actually the one we shouldn't be doing, that we do the most.
Buying things.
Everything around. I love buying things. I would not recommend against it. So I agree that that's the one that builds on to our liabilities. And sometimes we get so many things and then we look around and we feel frustrated and we're like, and then Viren tells me, he's like, I want a Japanese lifestyle. I'm going to throw out everything. I'm going to sleep on the floor. Because I'm so sick of seeing everything around. It's overwhelming. Because we collect and we collect and we collect, and that adds to you in a certain way. But, I mean, little collection is fine. It's nice.
Yeah. So now I have started building a collection of watches, for example, and they're not like super expensive Rolexes. I don't own a single Rolex, for example.
Yeah.
Right? But I like watches. I think they're cool. I love the mechanics behind them, right? I love how they look. So I have started collecting watches, but there's barely any money I'm putting into that, right?
Yeah.
A very, very small amount of what I'm earning actually goes into watches, but that's a hobby I have.
And the difference is, like, it's not the money that goes in, right? You like watches.
Yeah.
You like maybe a certain aspect of them.
Yeah.
Or the design that you like, which is unique. And that's why you're spending or investing in them. You're not putting in money to show it off to other people.
100%. So let me give you an example. I'll make a case for why you would want to buy things, which maybe cost a little bit of money.
You don't need to make that case.
No, I'll give you the logic behind it and tell me if that makes sense.
Okay.
The difference between somebody who's poor and rich is that a poor person might spend 1,000 rupees on shoes, but the quality of those shoes are not great. They get damaged within a year, maximum 2 years, and they need to be replaced.
Yeah.
So every year you're spending 1,000 rupees, and in 10 years you spend 10,000 rupees. Okay. Now, someone who's rich might have spent 10,000 rupees, 10 times the amount of money on a pair of boots. But those boots last them 10 years.
Yeah.
So essentially, you've spent the same amount of money, but you've spent it on quality goods.
Agreed.
Not brand, quality.
Yeah.
So that is, in my eyes, the case for why you would actually want to spend money on things, but only things that you really need and are quality items, not branded. I don't own any branded stuff. I don't care about brands. All I care about is quality.
Yeah.
So even if it's a linen shirt, right? Linen shirt from Uniqlo versus a linen shirt from Xenia, right? I wouldn't go and buy Xenia just because it's a brand name, even though I do have Xenias. I would rather spend money on quality, which I can even get at Uniqlo. So most of my wardrobe would be built out of Uniqlo. Maybe I have a couple of nice pieces, but I will spend on Uniqlo. What I won't spend on is maybe a linen, bad quality linen polyester blend, but the whole idea behind linen is that it stays cool, it's breathable, but polyester dalke it's not.
Yeah.
So I maybe wouldn't spend money on that just because nahi abhi le le, it's सस्ती तो है 10 ले लो. No, instead buy that one quality thing. Doesn't have to be a Xenia, but even a Uniqlo is good in terms of quality.
Yeah.
Free branding for Uniqlo.
Yeah, so much branding. Agreed. With girls, I think it might be a little different sometimes because we need more in terms of clothes. Like you guys will just wear this one suit that he's been wearing for 20 years and he will continue to ragdo that until, and it's great quality, that's how it's going on for 20 years. But for us, we can't wear the same outfit each time. It's just different. Don't ask me how. It's different. So sometimes you want to, and then if you are buying so many outfits because you have to have like a different outfit each time, like a wedding, for example, then you can't afford to buy something for 3 lakh, 5 lakh, 7 lakh every time. Sometimes you need those cheaper alternatives. That was just a random number I threw out. Don't worry, your bank account is completely safe. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you need that cheaper alternative and the quality might not be that great. Sometimes you do compromise. But then if it's that watch, if it's that bag, that's where you know you're going to use it forever. You know it's going to last you a lifetime. So you do want to spend there. So I get that point. But there's also like a flip side.
Balance. As with all things, balance
Yes.
is what matters at the end of the day.
Yes.
So even with finance.
I'll take you to Sarojini Nagar for shopping next time.
Sure. Why not? Let's see.
Vlog. We'll make a vlog from there.
Done.
Anyway, you were saying.
So I was saying, as with anything else, I think in life, balance is essentially what matters. So if it comes to finance, spend some, but invest some for sure.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes to buying expensive things, make sure you have one or two really good, amazing things.
Or however many you can afford with
Or
that
however
balance.
many you can afford. But balance it out with something that's maybe not as expensive, but good quality. Right? And lastly, when it comes to spending your money, we're not going to tell you how to spend your money. Right? But here are we told you the 5 things you can spend your money on.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're not spending all your money on just buying expensive things, but are exploring other options as well.
So a last thought, how much does money really matter then? You've come to a full circle.
Okay. There was a time in my life where I didn't care about money. I wanted to move to the Himalayas and live a simple life in a cabin.
Yeah.
Right? I have seen both sides. I've had money and I've not had money. So for me, money really doesn't matter. It is just a means to an end. Right? Having more money is obviously better, but it's not what is at the center of my mind 24/7. I rather spend more of my time and energy on things like family, things on self-improvement, because I think all of these things then bring you the money you need.
Yeah.
Family, friends, having a network, you make money. Having a fit, sound body and mind helps you make money.
Yeah.
Right? And then upgrading yourself as a person also helps you make money.
Yeah. And both sides to that coin, right? To do that also, sometimes you need money to be able to spend time with family, to be able to do any of those things that you just listed. Sometimes you do need money for self-improvement. You want to learn something, you want to take a class. It does require money. It's just more comfortable with than it is without, maybe. Not maybe, it is for sure. But I agree, like, does it have to be the central sole focus? Money is everything, and we're so driven by everything around us these days that money has become so important that people don't want to care about anything else. No. For me personally, it's that balance, it's important, but it's not like the sole focus of my life to become like this millionaire. There is an optimal amount, and I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. And if you really want to make money, you've got to let go of the fear of not having money. Because if you're not scared of losing it all, then you can get it all. Because then you can take risks.
I'm not there yet.
You don't have to be. मैं हूँ ना. We need to be balanced. You're the more stable one. I'm the more crazy one.
Yes.
And hopefully it never comes to that. But if it does, I think we'd be fine. As long as we have each other, we have family, we can get through anything, right?
Cool. I think that was a good conclusion to our little topic. I don't know how much value it added to you guys or how much it meant.
Yeah.
But just personal opinions and thoughts. Do not quote us on any of this, or do not take us very seriously on our investing tactics. We are not the people to be recommending this.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed the podcast and got something meaningful out of it.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and all of those other YouTube things. We'll catch you in the next one.